All right.
To your statement that
Yeah.
if they have the shot, they're supposed to shoot. As you reviewed the game film, I can remember one from Quentin that I was thinking about, but did you see any evidence that maybe open shots were not being taken that made you concerned about hesitancy or lack of confidence or anything like that?
I think there's times where we struggle in some decision making on, I'm ready to shoot, I get the ball, I need to shoot it, okay? With that though, sometimes you have to take a look at the pass that is thrown to the shooter. If it's a bad pass, we talk about throwing a pass on time and on target. And I can give you the perfect example of one. They trapped the post in the first half. We kicked it out and the ball went to Josh Heath. And Josh Heath took a dribble, sucked the defense in, and kicked it out to Chris for a wide open shot. The problem is Chris is shot ready and the ball's over here. So if the good shot now would have became a bad shot because it was a bad pass. So sometimes it's not quite as easy as a guy isn't confident to shoot or doesn't know when to shoot or whatever the case might be. I thought Quentin had a pretty clean look on the throwback when we were down 3. Or down 2. I was confused on your question on that. But yeah, it was almost as long as Rod's. All right. So yeah. So I looked, because I was kind of confused about what play you're talking about, because you mentioned a 3 and Q didn't take a 3 on that particular play. I thought he had a pretty good look, and then he took a dribble and took a much more difficult shot. So I think the overall umbrella to all these questions is we have to offensively continue to make better decisions. Sometimes that's when to pass, when to shoot. Sometimes that's when to shoot it and when to drive it. And that's an area where I thought in the second half we were better, but that's an area that I think we need to improve on, is some of our offensive decision making and reads off those offensive plays. Those reads are either, again, like I'll give you an example off a ball screen. If the big man is hard hedging on the ball screen, you're not going to be able to turn the corner. So now you need to go, it's like a quarterback, you need to go to your second and third read off that. Is the roll open? Well, if the roll isn't open, then the throwback guy is open. And that's a shot actually in the last couple of games we've gotten better at, is throwing that ball back to that backside guard or Q or Robert Sampson. We've gotten some pretty good clean open threes on that type of action. So all those things, are areas I think we need to improve in.
Defensively, our team's starting to pay more attention now to Cox and Mitchell. It seems like the last couple of games, their production's been down a little bit, perhaps because they're concentrating more on that?
Well, I think a little bit. I think two things that we need to do. We need to get the ball in there more every time it's available. I think we need to throw the ball in there. There has to be a trust factor, even though they've had some turnovers, of getting that ball inside to them. The 2 traps that we've seen in the last 2 games were completely different. Virginia traps from the post to post from the top side, so they're coming down on you. Boston College was holding on the backside and coming underneath. So we got some pretty good action went out of Boston College's trap. But like at the end of the game, we got 2 really good post feeds to DeMarco, and to be honest, and watching the film, and we talked about it with the guys, there was some more opportunities during the game to do that. We were a very physical post-up team. And over the last couple games, we haven't been as much. Now, is that due to us being trapped some, and the guys maybe not wanting to get the ball deep where the trap is and getting the ball? But we got to get back to that.
And of course, you have to set up a little lower. You can't set up too far, right?
Right. We want to get with those guys, you want to get the ball as deep to the block as you can. And that's, that is obviously a point of emphasis for us, because even if they're trapped and we can get it out of it, then that creates a scramble on the backside, and offensively, that's one of the things you want to do. Miami's traditionally been a great rebounding team, so I was surprised in looking at the stats last night and doing the prep work that they're not rebounding the ball as well. But believe me, they're more than capable of doing that, especially on the defensive end. Because when they get after it, well defensively, then they force a lot of tough shots. And they're, outside of Rodriguez at the point, they're a very big team. They can go very big with, big guards, and obviously Sherman at the 4 now, who's playing a ton of minutes for him.